When a clown comes into a laundromat with his face and his clothes all covered in blood and he starts washing them, you get the heck out of there. Otherwise, you ain't gonna live. Terrifier 2, released in 2022, and is directed by Damien Leon, who's also directed such films like The Ninth Circle, Terrifier, All Hallows Eve, and Frankenstein vs. the Mummy. And this movie is starring one of my newest Hollywood crushes now, Lauren Lavera, Elliot Fulham, Sarah Voigt, Haley Hyman, Casey Hartnett, and David Howard Thornton. And the reason why we're talking about Terrifier 2 today is because it was a PayPal recommendation and donation from one of my contributors and supporters of this channel, Dr. Camp. You strike again. Halloween is coming to an end. October's coming to an end. So of course we had to get some of your creepy ones in here. Thank you so much for your donations and support over this month and over the last couple of months. If any of you out there also want to be like Dr. Camp and help support me, contribute to this channel, you can select the QR code that is in the bottom left of your screen right now. Send over your donation with your movie recommendation. Any size donation will do, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it, and give you a little shout out just like what I did with Dr. Camp here. It's been 1 year since the events of the original Terrifier film, and Art the Clown is still on the loose, wreaking havoc and murdering people. Well, now it's Halloween night, and we're following the teenager Sienna Shaw, who starts seeing dreams and hallucinations of Art the Clown following her and eventually murdering her. And as she tries to save her family and friends from this terrifying Terrifier clown, she calls on the spirit of her dead father and tries to harness the imaginary characters that he drew in his sketchbook, eventually becoming a warrior angel and eventually taking on Art the Clown in a one-on-one matchup. So first, I'm going to get it out of the way that yes, whenever Lauren Lavera came on screen, I was just infatuated. I think she is so beautiful, and I thought she gave an excellent performance in here. This film is about her. Unlike the first Terrifier film, where there really wasn't an overall narrative, we had a couple of characters that we were following in the beginning, and then Art the Clown got them, and then we started following other people, and then Art got them, and then we went to other... It kind of just went like Art the Clown was just around killing people. Here we are actually following an overarching narrative to this story with this girl Sienna, who is just trying to have a fun Halloween night. She is a cosplayer, so she is working on her costume constantly, and it's badass cosplay. Not like, hey, I'm gonna go buy a cheap costume from Spirit Halloween. No, she's actually like decking out all of these angel wings and this awesome body armor. She looks freaking great in it. She also has this sword that is passed down from her father after he passed away, which apparently has magical powers and can deflect flames and evil from it. Do we find out why? No, we don't, but it's there and it's cool. But I really enjoyed her performance. She is this final girl in this horror film, but she's not annoying in any way. You actually stand behind every single action that she has, and when she is struggling and she is fighting back and she's being beaten down and she is being defeated, her willingness to get back on her feet and to keep on fighting, to keep swimming for air, and to keep just trying to keep her head above water. I love this character, and I love this performer. I hope I get to see her in other films too. I think, again, she's fucking beautiful. I guess she's supposed to come back for Terrifier 3, and I just realized that I may have spoiled this movie for you if you just heard that, so just ignore what I just said for like the last 10 seconds, okay? Moving on. And Art the Clown returns here, of course. This whole franchise is about him, and he is back in his devilish, evilish ways, gory, bloodyish ways. What he does to one of Sienna's friends in her bedroom is... it was prolonged, it was gross, it was gory, it was really cool if you're into prosthetics and just making a whole bunch of like creepy shit and creepy ass fake blood and stuff. But it felt like it just kept going on. It almost got comical after a while because he would skin her, she would cut her eye, and then he would rip off her head, and then he would make her into like a marionette, and then the mother would come home, and he would still be playing around with her, and she would still be alive. And that's getting to probably the main criticism that I would have with this film. Again, I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm enjoying this franchise. I want to see this go on for another, like, 10 or 20 different entries. This is an independent feature, this is an independent franchise, so I know that's going to be difficult unless a major studio picks it up and turns it into something, but I really hope we keep getting these Terrifier films over and over and over again. But with here, like, I love it to a point. There were a lot of things in here that seemed very prolonged. It just felt like it kept going on, and it didn't need to. It could have been edited more. It could have been more concise. It could have been refined a little bit more. The first movie, just thinking about it, I think it was like an hour and a half, maybe. This movie's 2.5 hours almost. It's a long-ass film. And for the horror genre, 2.5 hours is very long. Hour and a half is pretty much the standard length. Sometimes you can get to 2 hours, depending on the situation and depending on the story. 2.5, I mean, that's just out of the question. They do an okay job with keeping the pace going, though. They're trying really hard. There were moments where there was a lot of dead air. It just felt like we were going on. Sienna is grunting for a little too long, struggling to get to her feet, just a little too long. Like, we keep going, we could have edited something in there. That being said, though, I think that this is a very fun Halloween franchise that I hope we keep getting many years down the road. I love the saturation that this film has. It gives it that film grain to make it seem like this is from the 70s or the 80s, and that's really what this character is. The whole mindset behind this, we're getting those 80s horror slasher tropes and those characters in this film that's coming out in 2022, but they're not making it campy, and they're not making it, let's just be honest, they're not making it stupid. They're making it out to be legitimate. And yes, there are points in here where you don't take it all 100% seriously. There is some laughs, there is some meta-ness that is going on to things, but the overall tone to this is a more serious and more realistic approach than what we got back in the 80s with things like Friday the 13th and Halloween. And that's probably my own personal opinion. I didn't grow up with those 80s slasher films when I was a kid. I only watched them in my later years when I was an adult. And just a whole bunch of stupid characters like, huh? Is anyone home? What? I'm so scared, but I'm just gonna go take a shower. Here it plays on those tropes a little bit, but in a serious way and in a more, I guess, futuristic way. Not futuristic, in a more contemporary way. I really enjoyed this Art the Clown character. He is this indescribable force that is unstoppable. You just can't. You think you kill him, and then all of a sudden he appears. And we still haven't really gotten any backstory with him. We delve a little bit more into him, where he has this imaginary little girl clown that follows him around, who is just as creepy, if not creepier, than Art the Clown himself. But there are moments where she's invisible, she's not there, but then she's also there, and other people are seeing him. So, like, there are a lot of unanswered questions with this. And I like that, because it makes me want to go to the next film in the franchise. We just haven't gotten there yet. So I have questions, and I have questions that I want answered. Plus, in the post-credit scene, we also have Chris Jericho appearing, which was very random. I don't know why he is here unless he's friends with the director, which I'm sure he is. He's friends with everybody. He has his own goddamn podcast where he talks to everyone, so why wouldn't he be in this movie? But a fun little cameo for me, being a huge-ass wrestling fan. Like, oh, there he is. And he's talking about these treats his wife made. The zombie brain brownies. Oh, that's so cool. So Chris Jericho. He's so funny. Terrifier 2 is a great Halloween picture and a great Halloween sequel to the original. I would definitely take this one over the first one. And I hope we get this stylings further on in more Terrifier films, and hopefully gets picked up by a major studio to where they start making an entire franchise. Let's get up to Terrifier 10, please. Let's get at least 10 films out of this. If they can get 10 films out of the Saw franchise after Jigsaw dies in number 3, then they could do it for this film, damn it. I'm gonna give Terrifier 2 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I like it a lot.
So guys, if you've seen Terrifier 2, what did you think about it? Which one do you prefer more? Do you prefer the original or this sequel? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I release next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time on the channel, but in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.